Poverty hurts. I mean, I don't like it. And I don't like that our academic system is so corrupt. So it's one of the most important messages I have from entrepreneurs is that failure should inspire you to get smarter. Don't let failure ever stop you. Use your brain, use your creativity. And unfortunately, our school system says if you fail, you're stupid. That is not true. So the lesson to young people is don't take a job for the money. Take a job for what you're learning. In school, they compensate for risk by telling you to memorize the right answer. So in other words, these kids leave. Young people like you leave school thinking, oh, if I know the right answers, then there's no risk. And it drives old guys like me crazy. We learn from our mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities to get smarter, be humble, and take a look at something. Millennials are the most highly educated. They know all the answers, but they're afraid of doing anything. Robert Kiyosaki is a well-known writer, investor, and business owner who became popular for his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In the book, Kiyosaki shares his own life growing up with two dads. His real dad was a very educated college teacher. The other was his best friend's dad, a self-made millionaire and business owner. Robert saw that even though his dad worked hard and was dedicated to his job, he had money problems and could not give his family the life they wanted. In contrast, Rich Dad, who never finished college, was able to create a successful business and gain a lot of money. Success is not easy, especially when schools do not teach the basics of business and money. But you have two choices. You can use this as an excuse to stay uneducated, or you can change your thinking, be open to new ideas, and learn how to be successful. The key is to change the pathways in your brain. Your heart drives your brain. When I meet someone who thinks like an employee, they say, I want job safety. I want a good retirement plan. Do they have health benefits? That's how they think. I can't help them. They need to change their thinking. The economy happens between now and then. That's where the economy lives. It's in your heart and gut. I started playing Monopoly at 9. Everyone plays Monopoly, but I play it in real life. For greenhouses, one red hotel, tax. If you want to be rich, you need to learn to sell, use debt, and avoid taxes. That's the game. Kiyosaki saw that there's a gap between rich and poor, and that regular schooling and jobs don't always lead to money freedom. What does school teach about money? Nothing. Our education system is old and doesn't cover topics that would help students more. Money and taxes might not be as fun as chemistry or biology, but knowing about them is really important for students as they grow up. Right now, especially in America, there is a big gap between the rich and everyone else. I understand how the rich operate. My wealthy dad taught me this because he was the banker. The way banks and the wealthy work is different from what schools teach. That's the idea behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My poor dad, who has a PhD, really represents being poor, helpless, and desperate. He doesn't know much about money. Yet, he teaches our kids. My rich dad was a business owner who never finished school. The pieces of my life started to make sense. I often ask people around the world, what does school teach you about money? The answer is nothing. This isn't a mistake. Most people know this. The way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is to never teach them what the rich know. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which came out in 1997, it shows what the rich teach their kids about money, which the poor and middle class do not. Many of us who have not learned about money likely think one thing is true. Debt is bad and should be avoided. There are many stories of people who have used their credit cards so much that they can't pay them back. Many people also get student loans while trying to get an education. These people often spend much of their life trying to escape from debt. However, there is good debt and bad debt. It can be a useful tool for those who know how to use it. That is a hard word for most people. Many people share my views on money, and some financial experts say to live without any debt. Others suggest cutting up your credit cards, which is good advice for some people. If you can't manage your spending, then you should definitely cut them up. You have to think about income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. Debt fits into this. A lot of people say, I want to buy a house. But Amber says, my house is an asset. That's not correct. Your house is actually a liability, even if you don't owe anything on it. The same goes for a car. It's also a liability. Most people have a job where money comes in. They pay for their house, and money goes to the bank through a mortgage. So it's not an asset because cash is going out. A liability is anything that takes money from you. An asset is something that gives you money. For example, I have a rental property that puts money in my pocket. When I rent a place, I make a smart choice buying it and setting it up, and every month it brings me money. About debt, there is good debt and bad debt. I think student loans are bad debt. The main reason is it's the worst kind of debt. If I have business debt problems, I can file for bankruptcy and be free of it. But with student loan debt, you can't do that. It stays with you for life. So most people have student loan debt, and that money goes out without bringing any in. You might say, I have a job, but you still work hard for it. I don't work for this money. I set up the deal once, and each year I earn more and more. I borrow money from here, and it comes in and goes out like this. Debt can either help you earn money or make you lose money. The issue is that if you want to use debt wisely, you need to be smarter than others. If you buy a piece of property and make a mistake, it can quickly become a burden. If the tenant moves out, you can lose money fast. It doesn't matter if it's a boat, student loan, house, or car. What matters is whether cash is coming in or going out. If cash is coming into your income, it's an asset and good debt. But if it takes money from you, it's bad debt. A great way to succeed is to find a mentor nearby. Look for someone who has achieved what you want to do. Their years of experience and failures make them great teachers. They won't do the work for you, but having their support can help you reach your goals faster. She says that if you want to be successful in life, you need to find the best teachers. So when my poor dad told me to look for my rich dad, I was just following her advice. That's why we know Jim Rickards and Nomi Prince. They come from inside the system, just like you, and they understand what's happening. They share this knowledge with everyone. Since then, I've made it a rule to look for great teachers, who are those who know the system well. It's true that money is important in the world. Whether you want to start a business or not, learning about money is something everyone should do. Don't think that financial education is out of reach just because schools don't teach it. Look for financial knowledge yourself. Read books. Watch YouTube videos. There are many resources available. Focus on learning about money now, and your future self will appreciate it. Thank you.